All right, ladies and gentlemen, today we're talking about designing your bridge. As you know, we have started out with some ideas. If you didn't do that yet, on the back of the paper, I asked you to draw 4 truss bridge ideas. And you can use information that you find on the internet. You can find quite a bit on the internet. If you look up truss designs, toothpick bridges, popsicle stick bridges, all kinds of things are out there for you to find and get some ideas from. But you can also look at the paper in my slideshow that shows you the 15 common truss designs. So I'm just drawing some rough sketches here of some ideas, and these are not particularly great. They're just rough ideas, which is really the point. So I've got 4 ideas there, and I'm going to go with a super simple idea here just to make this presentation a little bit easier to follow. So on the front of your paper, it tells you in the top right corner here to make sure your bridge is 12 to 14 inches long, 3 to 4 inches in width. Now this one you won't be able to see when you're looking at it from the side, okay? So this one isn't super important yet. Make sure you use no more than 50 popsicle sticks for your entire bridge. And keep in mind you're building 2 sides to the bridge. So if you use about 15 to 20 for each side, that would allow you to connect the sides together with quite a few more popsicle sticks. All right, so to start, it's helpful to have a couple of popsicle sticks just so you can get an idea of what you're working with. Your popsicle stick must rest on top of the bridge abutment. It does not go in between. It's got to sit on top. Now we could just trace these popsicle sticks, but that's going to give us a very uneven line. So I'd recommend finding a straight edge. If you're here in school, we can give you a drawing triangle. If you're at home, find a ruler or a yardstick to use. Rulers are typically 12 inches long, so a ruler will work just fine. What I'm going to do is center that ruler, so I've got about a 1/2 inch on that side of the abutment, and I've got a 1/2 inch on this side of the abutment. I'm not sure how well you can see that, so I'll use the clear triangle just in case it's a little bit easier to see. If you make your bridge from one side of the abutment to the other, that will be 14 inches long, which is fine. If you make it a little bit less, as long as it's on the abutment, you should be good to go. Now, you could build this so that the popsicle sticks are laying flat, but I think you can see here that that's not going to be as strong as if they were standing up on end. So we want to draw it like this, and what I'm going to do is just get the width here of a popsicle stick. So I'm just using this as a measuring device, and then I'll take my triangle and I'll draw the top of what will become the lower chord. So this beam made up of smaller popsicle sticks all the way across here is going to make up the bottom part of the bridge. And we can see here that that's going to work out quite nicely, but we're going to talk about this later. Gluing these two together end to end like this is not a good idea. This is not going to be very, very strong. So we're going to have to come up with a different way of joining them together, but that's a separate conversation. So for now, that's going to use up about 3 or maybe a few more depending on how we overlap these to build our lower chord. Now, as we go up with the sides of our truss, we want to remember that we never should go higher than a popsicle stick. I've learned that gluing these together and making a really tall truss typically doesn't work out very well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to overlap them like that, not like this. And I'm also going to take into consideration the angle that I want my triangles to be at. Because if I make the truss this tall and have another beam going across up here, like this, if I do that, and I have some going across the bottom, I will be able to make my vertical supports fit pretty nicely. But what you might notice here is that when I go to do my diagonal supports, they don't reach. They're not long enough. So really, this bridge or truss is too tall given the materials that I have available. So really what you want to do is find the angle that you like. what angle do you want here? And if you're here at school, you can use one of our triangles. You can get a 30, 60, 90 degree or a 45 degree triangle. I'm going to go with something like that. I'm going to trace that. So I like that angle, which is a 60 degree angle. So I'm going to go like this. And in order to make this thing symmetrical, I can flip this triangle over and do the same thing on this side. So I can line up the bottom of the triangle with the bottom of the page and slide it out so I'm at the end of that chord, making sure I'm parallel with the end of the page. And we can go like that. And then we can take a couple popsicle sticks across the top. And we'll just fill that in like that, and something like that. And there we have the main frame, I guess you could call it, of our truss. Now you're going to be building 2 trusses, one for each side of your bridge. So you're going to use this paper twice. But you can get an idea here. Of course, we'll have to trim some of these popsicle sticks, but you can get an idea of how this is going to fit together. Now I'm going to find the center of my bridge, and let's see, if I have 11 inches between the abutments, half of 11 is 5.5, so that center point is right about here. I can take this drawing triangle, or you can do this with a ruler as well. I'm just going to draw a line there so I know where my center point is. And I want to have a popsicle stick right down the middle of my bridge like this. And I'm also going to take and divide this area in half as well. And you could use a variety of techniques. You could use centimeters or inches, doesn't really matter. But from the center line to this is about 4 inches. So I'm going to put a mark at 2, put a mark at 6. And then if I drop these straight down, we've got something like this. Of course, we need triangles in there. So we're going to go like this. And you can decide exactly how you want to do this. You can add more. You can make this however you want it to go. So there we've got a truss design that uses about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 2 of those would be 28, and that would leave us with plenty to join it all together. We could even add more if we wanted to. It's up to you, but that should get you started on what we're looking at for your bridge design.